Wish you were near. I'll keep you right here beside me. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here. I need to know which way to go. Now take me home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here with you. In this moment here with you. In this moment here with you.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Yeah. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
lay on the carpet, eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden.
Stay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, also known as On Autodubs, and welcome to the next round of the F1 Championship. We are live here at Circuit of the Americas, live in Austin, Texas, for the next round of the season, as we are at round 12, coming towards the back end of this season, and it's hotting up for sure, as James at the minute still with a very comfortable lead over the rest of the pack. Can anybody stop him before they get to the end of the season? And also, James might be taking some time out due to he's got a baby girl on the way, and at any point his partner could be bringing her into the world very shortly. But for now, he has survived another round tonight. We've only got 13 drivers here on an Easter Sunday, and obviously, while I quickly am on that subject, happy Easter to everybody here tonight. Hope you had a wonderful time. Hope the kids have had a great visit from the Easter Bunny, and we are looking forward to some great racing here tonight, as we are on board with A. Smith as he works his way out onto the track, as we get our usual screens up and running, as we got a couple of guys already out on track. M. Plava is the man to lead us out on track, and I've got to remember buttons again. That's the one we want to get rid of. As we are live here in Texas, and a good evening to everybody in the chat. We have got PN Motorsport in the chat. We've also got Tracy as well, Mummy D as well, and there's a couple of guys saying evening. Hi everyone, hi to Mummy D, and good evening Dan the man. Thank you, Tracy. Nice to see you all in the chat. Nice to see you all here at Simplay Motorsport, and like I said, coming to the business end of the championship. We are live here in the US of A, the home of one of our drivers, Tibbs, as he will be looking to try and get a good night's worth of racing here at his home circuit. Will the crowd be on his side tonight? That is the question, and I would love to see Tibbs do fantastically well here at his home circuit. How well does he know this circuit? That is the question. Let's have a quick look at the F1 standings as it stands at the minute. James is leading away 67 points ahead of Big Boy Brazier in second, with Matimovic not a million miles away in third. He's only 97 points behind Jamie at this stage, with Ivor currently in fourth, Gary in fifth place, and M. Plava is mathematically gonna be out of this championship after the first race tonight. So a shame for M. Plava, but he will be done for this season. Then it will just come down to the last five. Exit Tibbs currently 7th in the championship, with Forzy in 8th. 9th is Emo Guy. 10th is A. Smith, and that is your top 10. Moving down to the bottom half, we got Nausea, who sadly isn't here tonight, in 11th place position, with PM Motorsport in 12th. 13th is Leon Fernie. 14th is Fury CBK. And 15th is Smoky Devil. 16th is Monkey Boy. 17th is Argent. That Body Boy, the only one to score a point in 18th, and still yet to score a point, DJ Phil and C. Smithy, the only ones to score a point, but maybe tonight could be their night. As regarding to the team's championships, it's Aston Martin leading away with 12 points ahead of Williams, of the lone soldier of James, and Ferrari sitting in third at the minute, with Alfa Romeo in fourth, AlphaTauri in fifth, with Haas in sixth. 7th is Alpine. 8th is Mercedes. 9th McLaren, and bringing up the rear in 10th place is Red Bull. Regarding to the driver's stats tonight, there could be a number of things that could happen here this evening. Gary 131 could possibly get a pole position here to make it up there with some of the top guys. I'm trying to look on here. Pole position, Gary 131 to make it his 25th, currently on 24 at the minute. Big Boy Brazier would get himself off 25. Those two would be matching. Matt would be, he's currently on 35 wins. Can he get himself ahead of Fury, who's currently on 35 himself? Who knows? But there's all sorts of things still to play for here tonight. Podiums. Not many guys are on a roll on podiums. Argent's currently 2 away from 50. So we'll keep an eye on those. As Tibbs is coming back into the pits, he has had an invalid lap time, as Leon Fernie in the Red Bull is currently going through Sector 1. So like I said, good evening to everybody. Welcome to Simplay Motorsport, and welcome to America, as Tracy and Tibbs are hosting us here this evening. It's a wonderful view from their house, obviously looking at the circuit. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if they're in Austin, Texas, but you know. We're in America, they're giving us the hospitality, so So right now I'm just trying to find some information of the circuit. My phone is wanting to bling off at the same time, which isn't good. Circuit of the Americas. Right, let's have a quick rundown of this track. And we are in Texas. I believe this information that's on here, it says the United States Grand Prix, is not what I want. It is Circuit of the Americas. There it is. Circuit of the Americas, a capacity of 150,000, but I'm pretty sure they can get more in here as well. And a track that was first opened in 2012, 10 years ago now. We've been here for a long time. Well, actually, technically now it is 11 years, but we've been here a long, long time. It's got some unique touches to the circuit. It's got so many different variables. It's taking parts from Sepang, Shanghai, Yas Marina, Istanbul, Bahrain, and even the Korean track as well, as a lot of these tracks are all based off the same designer. It's definitely a circuit that really some people love, others hate, but either way, a couple of guys on track struggling to get some lap times underneath their belts. And I think we will go on a lap later on with someone once we get a clear idea who's on a lap. 20 corners around this circuit, and like I said, it has a lot of circuits based off many famous parts of tracks around the world. We got Silverstone in the first half of the sector with Maggots and Beckett's going through that sector. We've also got the famous Turn 9 from Istanbul, but the opposite way around. And the section that Forzy's in currently at the minute is reminiscent of Hockenheim, and it gives that feel of a tight, twisty stadium section. And obviously the hairpins are based off the Shanghai long straights as well, and slow points as well. Obviously NASCAR come here, IndyCar come here, the World Rallycross Championship come here, World Endurance, a lot of different things come here, even MotoGP. So it's a circuit that gets used regularly and used a lot as well. As Tracy says, not too far from Texas, so thanks for the hospitality. As Forzy's in the chat, Fury's granddad, good evening all, and best of luck, and nice to see him in the chat. He's currently at work at the minute. The Forzy currently out on track. He's gone through sector 1 into the hairpin. Now he goes through the Maggots and Beckett section. Make sure you don't take too many track limits, and try and make sure you keep it within the track, so you do not get that time penalty. As he's taking his time, being really cautious on throttle, then uphill into the really tricky section of the left-hander, into another fast left-hander also, and into the heavy braking zone. You see an Aston Martin there going slowly. That is Mate Himovic. And then down the long back straight, DRS wide open here for Forzy as he goes down this long straight where Alonso and Stroll came together, losing the front wing, and Stroll and Alonso out that race into turn 12, making sure you hit the apex, then swinging them shot into turn 13, which then naturally turns into 14, and then into the tricky 15. Once you get 15 correct, then it's into 16, 17, and 18, the Istanbul section. Making sure you have a great run through there, then swinging it into turn 19, making sure you don't go out of track limits as the sun is glaring into your eyes, then into turn 10. 5-place grid penalty for Emprava for blocking, and Forzy once again crosses the line, and he does not complete a lap time of 37.0. That would only have put him behind Leon Fernie. So Forzy here really struggling to get a lap time on the board. We have got a McLaren currently on a lap. I think that is, oh, he's not on a lap. That is A. Smith, he's on an out lap. So car currently on a lap was Smokey Devil, but he's invalidated that one. So James on an out lap as well. Whoever's watching my private stream, head over to Simplay Motorsport, please, and give them a like and subscribe, because that is where we are live right now. So right now, guys, it's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing. As Kieran in the chat, not back in time from London, so sadly he's unable to race this evening. But he said best of luck to the drivers, which is nice to see that he's giving the drivers some support. As we are on board with A. Smith, he is currently on a lap, and we'll stay on board with this man. as I'm now putting in the prediction of pole position. Who do you think is going to take pole here? And of course, we've got to add the home favourite into that one. As the community, who is going to take pole? Is it going to be James, Emprava, Matimovic, or Tibbs? There is your poll, guys. Get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position here tonight. But so far, it's been going the way of James. A. Smith is down the back straight, but he's not opened the DRS, obviously due to the fact that he has invalidated his lap time. And Emprava goes fastest of all. He goes to the top of the table now. As we've got now Forzy coming to the line. He's gone into the pits. It is then A. Smith, but Gary's actually managed to get himself out on track. He said he might not have been able to get on and race one. So it's now Matt in the middle sector. It looks like he's on a fast lap. But I believe it is this man, James, who's currently on a lap time. He is a 10th up on his best. Emprava at the minute on pole position by 0.3 of a second. So he's found some decent time. Meanwhile, James is giving a McLaren behind him quite a lovely tow. There is another McLaren that's just made a mistake in the background. As now James is negotiating his way through the tricky stadium section. And into the final sector now. Can he nail this lap? That is the question. Oh, he's had a big moment, and that is his lap time invalidated. He will be done for that lap, and straight into the pit he comes. It is now Smithy to the line. I don't know if Smithy is on a flyer, but he's already been telling me tonight he's feeling quite confident, quite good round here. He crosses the line, and he does a 43.4, so it's not his best. As I believe Gary 131 is purple first sector, but meanwhile his teammates going into the pit. So Matt is done, Emprava is done. It is going to be Gary next to cross the line. As Max Moldus, today is Tibbs his day. I'm really hoping so as well, Max. Tibbs is a man to keep an eye on. This is his home Grand Prix. What can he do? Meanwhile, Gary 131 on a lap time. He's coming to the middle sector. He was purple first sector. Is he purple middle sector? He is. So Gary is on a lap time here. Always seems to go round quite well at Circuit of the Americas, especially when we were running on Project Cars. He was always very, very good around here. As I will close the poll at the 2-minute mark. So guys, get your votes in. Only 13 drivers. Where is everyone? It's the Easter holidays, so a lot of people not here away at the minute. So right now, Gary's nailing this lap. He's into the final corner. Is Gary 131 gonna steal pole as he comes to the line? Oh, it's only P3, so P3 for Gary 131. He will then come back to the pits, get a set of fresh tyres back on and see what he can do. Ivor, I believe, was the next man to come towards the line. He crosses the line and goes P5. There's a few of these guys not on a lap. Exit Tibbs is now starting his lap, or he's having a moment by the looks of things. Not sure what was going on there with him. As he goes up toward turn 1. As Smithy crosses the line, he's still on a 43.4, so he needs to just improve that lap time. As Leon Fernie next to the line, any improvement from him? No. He stays in P8 as some of the drivers are now coming back out on track. As a few of the guys are now messaging me, and sadly, I did say that it was going to be on, you have to be on time, and sadly we'll not be able to race now, so we're going to have to either get an invite from another driver, or because I'm not running around anymore, as we are currently racing here at Circuit of the Americas. If you're not here, you're not here. Simple as that. As we see Leon Fernie going down the back straight. Leon Fernie needs to hook up this lap in the Red Bull. He still validated this one, so he's looking good so far as he comes up the back of a McLaren. Hopefully the McLaren will get out of his way. That is C. Smithy, but I think Smithy is also on a lap time, so he does bail out of the way. And Leon Fernie into the final sector now. Any improvement as still M. Prava, the man on top of the session. Towards the line, Leon Fernie goes P6, so a good lap time from him. As once again, guys, if you are watching my private stream, please head over to Simplay Motorsport as we are live there right now. As Big Boy Brazier towards the line, no improve. Well, he does improve, but he stays P7. Can he find any more time? Forzy, the only man still yet to set a lap time. He's in the final corner. This is validated, so he will get a lap time on the board. Is it any good though? A 37.0 is not on the board, so he hasn't managed to get a lap time on the board. Poor Forzy at the minute not looking good, as Matt is currently on an outlap, Gary's on an outlap, James is staying in the pits as the minute. Yellow flag in the first sector, so James I think should be coming back out. He is on his way back out. But who is going to be the one to take it away? M. Plava currently on a lap, but is he being held up by Matt Tahimovic right now? Is that Matt or is it Gary? No, that is definitely Matt. M. Plava to the final corner. He crosses the line. And no, that was an outlap, so he is now on his way. And he's got Matt directly in front of him. The rest of the guys on their laps. As Ivor, I believe, will be done for this session. Everyone who's in the pits now or is heading their way back to the pits. Commentating by yourself tonight. Most nights, mate, I am always commentating on my own, Aiden, sadly. But Tony's working tonight, which is a shame. But either way, you've got you lovely lot to keep me company as we will end the poll there. As majority have gone split between James and Tibbs, as Big Boy Brazier now crosses the line and goes fastest of all, a 34.9. As Forzy, has he found any more time or is this him into the pits? He is going to the line. Has he improved? He's finally got a lap time on the board and he goes up to P6. So finally a lap time from him. Gary 131 looked very confident earlier on. He was purple sectors. Has he nailed the lap now? He's just within track limits, keeping that car within the white lines. And into the final corner he goes. Gary 131 towards the line. Here he comes. Any improvement? He finds time, but he goes ahead of his teammate James now into the final corner, as he is now preparing himself for one more lap by the looks of things. And away he goes. James will now start his final lap here. Meanwhile, M. Prava is into the pits. Matt is going to complete his lap time. Where is this going to put him? No improvement, but he now start the final lap here. He will be finishing his qualifying session right now. Forzy, I'm pretty sure, will be done. And the rest of these guys all done on their laps. As Big Boy Brazier is still on a lap. So maybe Jamie can improve on his lap time. But at the minute, he will probably end up coming into the pits. And into the pits he comes. So now Smithy also done. It is now down to Gary, James and Matt. Who is going to come out on top? It is going to be Gary, the first one to come to the line. He's 2/10 up in the middle sector. So Gary's finding some time out there. In the final sector he comes. Gary so far been keeping all of his lap times pretty much validated. As you just say that, he has invalidated his lap time. He is done for qualifying. He will not improve and will stay P4 as it is at the minute. So James will be the next car to come towards the line. Gary to the line, what would this have been? Would it have been faster? It would have been. He would have gone ahead of James and would have started behind M. Prava. Great qualifying so far from M. Prava. James, though, to the line. What's he got left in him as he comes into the final corner now? Has he nailed this lap? He comes to the line. There he goes. He takes pole position away from Big Boy Brazier. It is just Matt Tahimovic now left to come and take what is left. He comes into the final corner. Matt Tahimovic to the line. P3 for Matt So once again, James has stolen pole position away from this time from Big Boy Brazier. What a lap there from James. Fantastic lap from him. That is your qualifying session done. The only qualifying session they will do, as we will be running a sprint and feature race here. And James is on pole position, but he's got Big Boy Brazier, his championship rival, starting alongside him. 4,000 was separated by them in the end. Matovich will start third, with Emplava starting fourth, but he's got a 5-place grid penalty for the feature, so keep an eye out for that one. Fifth is Gary 1-2-1, 6th will be Forzy, 7th will be Ivor, 8th will be Leon Fernie, 9th, the home favourite, Exit Tibbs, struggling in 9th place position, hopefully he can come back in the race. 10th is A. Smith, 11th was Spooky Devil, 12th is PN, and bringing up the rear in 13th is Smithy. What can these guys do, as I will now get a poll out for your race winner. This could be an exciting night's worth of racing here. Once again, James stealing the show. He takes pole position away. As we got beautiful sunshine here. No rain looking to affect us tonight. As I'm trying to clear my throat. Excuse me. So an interesting night tonight at the Circuit of the Americas. Get your votes in now, as the poll has gone out for your sprint winner. Can't look anywhere else but James at the minute. For me, it looks like that James has got it all under control. The other night, Tony found out that the curse is real, and it does happen. As we are about to get underway for the formation lap. Ivor's not moved, so that's a good start for Ivor. So, guys, let's get your votes in now on who you think is going to take the sprint win and who's your favourite here tonight. Let's hear from you in the chat, as this season it has been a dramatic one for sure. As I will have a quick look. So pole position this season has gone of the way of a few drivers. Tim took the first two out in, excuse me, he took the first two in Bahrain, while also in China. Matt took the Chinese pole position with also the Australian one. Monaco went the way of Tim, and then from then onwards it's really just been James on a roll. He's been flying with pole positions this season. Only a few people have been taking it away from him, but we will see what happens in this sprint race. A 10-lap race here, as Tammy in the chat saying go Matt. But right now it is James on pole position with Big Boy Brazier in second. Matahimovic is third. Fourth is Emplava, Gary is fifth, sixth is Forzy, and seventh is Igor. Eighth will be Leon Fernie, ninth is Exit Tips, 10th is A. Smith, 11th is Smoky Devil, 12th is PM Motorsport, and 13th is Smithy. That is your running order. Guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to win this one here tonight. Williams have been looking very, very strong this season with the hands of James in control of that car. But Big Boy Brazier also looking quite good in the Ferraris. Had a bit of a mishap season, but James has really been on fire in this later half of the season. Who is going to come out on top as we're coming to the final end of this season? There will be a slight break in 2 weeks' time, as most of us will be away at Donington Park to watch the British Touring Cars, but we will be back after that once we get that out of the way. Most drivers here will probably be using the medium tyre, as they all are. Right, they come to the line. James is on pole. As the lights come on, the revs rise. Round 12 of the season, we're about to get underway for the final end of this season, and we are green here, and looks like a fairly even start from the Williams and the Ferrari as they get going. Matt's had a dreadful start and has dropped back down the order. Forsey looking to the inside, but it's Big Boy Brazier down the inside of turn one. They just about give each other space, and Emplava moves up to third. So a decent start. Tibbs has had a nightmare. He's been caught up with Ivor, who are all just struggling to get going and find some grip, but they all manages to survive turn one. Gary hasn't managed to pile into turn one a previous league. Good start. Let's go, says Daz Automatic, as James now leads the way through sector one from Big Boy Brazier. Emplava to third, Matt in fourth, Leon Ferdy's had a good start in fifth, Forsey, and as I say, that who's dropped down the order, that is Emplava. He is facing the wrong way. He's lit up the rear tyres, and it's not going to be a good one for him, as James now on his way with Big Boy Brazier in second, Matt in third. Matt, can he redeem himself after a poor start as Leon Fernie now in P4? We've got another yellow flag. That is Ivor. He's dropped down the order. He's lit up the rear tyres, and around he goes as they carry on their way through the middle sector. Forsey got Gary wanting one, breathing, and Smokey's around the outside of Gary. That was a beautiful move there from Smokey Devil as the two McLarens. Can see Smithy finally get a podium, a points position. He's gone the whole season without any points. This is a great opportunity for him right now. Smokey Devil already pushing the limits of track limits as they all go through the middle sector. Meanwhile, James still leads the way with Big Boy Brazier in second. But the more and more these guys allow James to disappear, the more and more likely that he will win this title. James, fastest lap of the race, and I'm not surprised. Smithy has now lost the position to his brother in ninth place, as Smithy is looking forward to this one. He's been telling me he's looking forward to racing this track. He knows it. He remembers it from Project Cards as Emplava is into the pits. And obviously those medium tyres should get them to the end, but I'm not sure why he's into the pits. More than likely because of the front wing damage, and there it is, front wing going on. So right now, Jamie is just losing a little bit of pace to James at the minute with Matt in third. Fourth is Leon Fenny, not able to stick with the top three as Forsey's got the whole pack breathing down his neck. With Gary 131 up into sixth place position. Smokey Devil is in seventh, and Exit Tibbs, the USA man, on his way to try and work his way through the pack. Can he maneuver his way through the drivers? That is the question. As we see there, Tibbs looking to try and get the DRS in the next lap. Obviously the DRS does not open until lap 3, and right now Tibbs is working his way onto the back of Smokey Devil. And Tibbs there looking to try and accelerate his way to the back of Smokey Devil, but there's nowhere really for him to go at the minute while the rest of the guys all funnel their way through. As the top three have now pretty much broken away from Leon Fernie. He doesn't seem to have the pace of the top three, but the top three all within a second of one another as Matt just drops out that second gap, but James looks to be struggling at the minute. Does not have the raw pace. Big Boy Brazier fastest, Matt Himovic even faster. The top three pulling away. Smokey Devil already the first man to get some time penalties, and you can see there Leon Fernie's just not in touch with the leaders. We go back to Smokey Devil and Tibbs as Tibbs is down the inside of Smokey Devil up into turn one. Job done, and upper place he goes as they head towards now turn two, the Silverstone-esque part of the circuit. Can he keep it within limits and try and cash now onto the back of Gary 131? And to be fair, watching these cars go through this sector is such an amazing sight. They handle this track so well with the amount of downforce that these cars now produce. Corners like that is just effortless. As I say that, Tibbs has made a wobble there. That's going to give Smokey Devil the inside, and Smokey Devil back up into 7th place position. Right now, Tibbs really struggling with passing as Gary 131 with the DRS. That is the advantage of the DRS. The little drag reduction system, as you can see, Gary's rear wing has opened up and it's closed once again as soon as he hits the brakes. That gives him an extra bit of straight line speed. Obviously the car doesn't drag and is able to pull away. So Gary 131 back up into 5th place position. His next target will be Leon Fernie. Meanwhile, the top three, once again, just as the DRS has come available, they've all just strung out once again, and James has made that 1.1 gap over Jamie, and at the minute Jamie not able to stick with him. What setups are they running? And obviously, they don't have a choice of setups. They get given 5 presets that they have to choose, whatever they best suits their driving styles. Oh, Gary with a nasty snap as he comes out of the final corner. All relatively balanced so far as PN Motorsport now on to the back of Smithy. Can he find a way through on the McLaren? Not at the minute. And at the minute, Emprava starts last, but he's going to be getting that 5-place grid penalty, and it's not really going to do much because he is at the back of the pack. Ivor now working his way onto PN, and PN's gone wide, and there goes Ivor down the inside in the AlphaTauri, up another position. Meanwhile, Emprava setting fastest lap of the race, as Gary 131 and Forsey are still relatively close to one another. Can Forsey get himself into the DRS zone? As he's gone through the detection point, was he close enough? That is the question. I don't think he was. Was Gary close enough to Leon Fernie? That is the question. As they head towards the back straight, he wasn't quite close enough. As you head into the slow left-hander, Gary 131 not quite able to stick with him. Matt, though, has creeped onto the back of Big Boy Brazier. Jamie is losing a little bit of time here, but James not either pushing away either. As Smithy now is looking like he's under attack from Ivor. Ivor down the inside and gets the job done. Smithy keeping his nose clean and just focusing on the race here. Tips there, currently P7. Can he work his way onto the back of Forsey? Meanwhile, Gary is trying to work his way onto the back of Leon Fernie, who's currently in 4th. No DRS for the top 3. Actually, no, Matt does have the DRS. He's now working his way to the back of Big Boy Brazier. The top 3 now still very close to one another. As they go through the first sector right now, as Leon Fernie gets himself a time penalty. Not what he wants at this stage. But Matt still trying to work his way onto the back of Big Boy Brazier. What can he do? Once he catches Jamie, he's got to really use that DRS. The DRS is very powerful here, but it all depends on what setup you are running. Matt right on the back wing of Big Boy Brazier. DRS wide open. He's going to look to the inside of the left-hander. And he breaks into that corner and gets the job done. Jamie, meanwhile, is looking to try and get the undercut into the stadium section, but is unable to do so. Meanwhile, Leon Fernie and Gary 131 going at it. Gary 131 trying to go around the outside. He'll have the inside for the next part of the track. Brilliant racing from these two. A genius move there from Gary 131. And Gary, just all over the curb and loses the back end. Leon Fernie, though, losing out in that position. And through goes Big Boy. Is now on to the back of Matimovic. He will now get the benefit of the DRS. Meanwhile, Smoky Devil dropping down the order. I think he's had a spin or a slight moment. So Jamie, can he now work his way back past Matimovic? As they all come down towards Sector 1 once again. There's some great races so far from a lot of these guys. Leon Fernie still within reach of Gary 131 at this stage, as these are the closest fights at the minute between Big Boy Brazier, Matimovic, and also Gary 131 and Leon Fernie. Jamie is right there. He is in the DRS detection zone, as Matt has got the Ferrari breathing down his neck. And right now, Jamie not able to get onto the back of him right now. As they head into the left-hander. And Jamie seems like he's carrying a lot of wing, by listening. Leon Fernie not able to benefit from that position either. As we will head down to PN and Smithy. Those two are having a good scrap. You see there, they just struggle on exit. And PN Motorsport now in the DRS zone onto the inside of C. Smithy. Smithy going at it with the Ferrari driver. The DRS is open. Matimovic, 3-second time penalty now to him as he's been pushing the track limits. Luckily, Gary's quite a bit away and PN goes wide, and that's allowed Smithy to cut back underneath. Great move there from PN Smithy to get the place back from PN Motorsport. Matimovic currently in P2. Has got Jamie still breathing down his neck with that 3-second time penalty hanging over his head. He has to be careful now. Leon Fernie has now dropped off the back of Gary 131, and Gary's now looking to try and catch Jamie. But right now, it is Matt who will be losing out. He needs to find that time. Basically needs to catch James now, as he's now making that he's losing 2 seconds now to James. And Jamie's still within that DRS zone, but he's not, it doesn't seem like he's got the straight line speed at all. Jamie he's just not gaining anything at all. But he is a lot better in the corners, as you can see. And Jamie right now trying everything he possibly can to find a way past Matt, but nothing is available to him at the minute. Meanwhile, Ivor is on the move. Here he is on the back of Smithy. Oh, sorry, A. Smith. And he is looking to try and make his way through the order. What can he do in the AlphaTauri? This guy is a very impressive driver. He is able to drive the car with no assist on, and if anyone's ever done F1 before, this game is very difficult to nail it, as he is on the back of A. Smith. Emprava's on the move. He's working his way through the pack. As they now head up towards turn 1, Ivor down the inside of A. Smith. Later on the brakes, gets it turned in. But A. Smith has come back. He's got the switchback and they've made contact, and Ivor has gone round. Unlucky there for Ivor, a slight bit of contact. So Ivor now dropping back down the order again. We go back to the front. Matt still under pressure from Big Boy Brazier, and Gary 131 is getting within that 3-second window so far, so he's slowly creeping onto the back of these guys. Forzy not a million miles away from Leon Fernie, not quite able to get the DRS in that sense. Meanwhile, Matt is still trying to extend that gap from Big Boy Brazier, but it's just not happening. And Jamie is just sticking with him right now. Jamie's gotten a little wide though, probably upsetting by the downforce coming from the back of Matt's car, the dirty air as such. And Jamie's car just not happy with the front end, but he gets a great run through the final corner. DRS is open, but he's still not quite close enough. Matt probably saved all his battery in the final sector just so that he could stay ahead of Big Boy Brazier as they now go through sector 1. We are on the 9th lap. We are coming towards the end of this race. Forzy has got a DRS on Leon Fernie. Much better on the brakes. Around the outside he goes. Meanwhile, Gary's at a moment. He's at a spin. He's going to drop down the order. And Leon Fernie and Forzy are now fighting for 4th place. Leon Fernie hangs in there, and Forzy drops down the order. The one who lost out big time out of all that was Gary 131. Meanwhile, Exit Tibbs has got himself just outside the top 4 at the minute. He is just lurking about. Sadly, Fury, that is it. You ain't able to race, mate, because we've got going. We've started racing. As James now towards the final sector, he comes. But Leon Fernie leading this group of cars, and Forzy on the other hand looking to try and make the move on him as he possibly can, as Fury has seen that I have sent him an invite, so he is able to get in. Matt's had a mistake, he's overcooked it and he's losing time. Leon Fernie might possibly get himself on the podium. Matahimovic lighting up the rear tyres, and down the order he goes. 7 seconds. He might hang in there for P3. Meanwhile, Leon Fernie has got a train of cars behind him, so these guys have to be patient. Meanwhile, Smithy losing a fight to C. Smithy is losing a fight to PN Motorsport. Let's go back to those guys as PN goes down the inside of the left-hander and gets that job done. Smithy not able to stick with PN at this stage. Meanwhile, James is on his last lap. A. Smith now got a time penalty for exceeding track limits. James into the second sector. Big Boy Brazier 3 seconds behind him. Matt has dropped right off the back of them. 7.1, but he's still more importantly ahead of this group, which Forzy is the lead car because Leon Fernie has got that time penalty hanging over his head. Exit Tibbs currently 6th. Gary 131 on the back of them. And this is where all the fight is happening right now. Leon Fernie leading this group of cars. And Tibbs right on the back of these two. Needs to make sure he gets a good exit. Struggling to get the traction. DRS has now opened. Who's going to come out on top? Leon Fernie looks like he's done enough. But Forzy is coming back. Here he comes. DRS advantage down the inside. He thinks better of it, and Leon Fernie manages to make the corner, but he's gone wide. Forzy down onto the outside of the next part of the circuit. Is he going to try and hold it strong? Gary tried it earlier and it worked. He's still there. He's still alongside. He's had to cut the track. But Forzy down the inside of Leon Fernie gets the job, but Fernie's gone round. And I think Forzy might have to give the place up, and multiple 3-second time penalties for track limits there. Sorry, I've missed the winner. James has won the race. Big Boy Brazier in second. Third will be Matahimovic. I've completely about missed these guys. As Forzy now will come into the final corner. He will take P4. Meanwhile, there's a scrap for the last few places. Gary will take P5. 6th will go Exit Tibbs. 7th will be Leon Fernie. 8th will be A. Smith and gets that final point as Ivor just misses out in... he goes 8th actually, so A. Smith with his time penalty will go 9th. Smoky Devil will cross the line in 10th place position. M. Prava had great pace, looking very good earlier on. He is in 11th and will come home in 11th, but will start last for the next race, with PN and Smithy bringing up the rear. And once again, James carrying on exactly where he left off, and he takes the win here tonight. So a fantastic job there from James, and he wins the sprint, and that is your order. James is your race winner. Great stuff from him. Who can stop him now? As I believe M. Plava is now out of the championship, especially after that race performance. It is James who is your race winner on that one, and he takes the fastest lap as well. No, I think it's Matahimovic, M. Plava with the fastest lap, but he wasn't in the top 10, so he doesn't gain that extra point. So James from Big Boy Brazier, from Matimovic, from Forzy, from Gary 131. Exit Tibbs worked his way back up to 6th. 7th is Leon Fernie. 8th is Ivor. 9th will be A. Smith. 10th was Smoky Devil. 11th was M. Plava. 12th was PM Motorsport. And bringing up the rear is C. Smithy. As we now have Fury into the session. What can he do from the back of the pack? And what an interesting race that was, as we now look to the feature race. I can never spell Matt's gamer tag. It's always really complex. I'll probably spell it wrong, but you know. And we got another clear race. Normally here at Simplay Motorsport, we love a wet race, and so far we've not had one tonight. Probably going to get one now later on. Right, so now we have got the next load of drivers. Who is going to take the sprint win, the feature win, sorry. There is your poll regarding the championship after that one. Let's have a quick look. Obviously, James would have extended his championship lead. Yes, he has. 69 ahead of Big Boy Brazier now. Third is Matinovic. Fourth is Ivor. Fifth is Gary 131. If James outscores Gary by 16 points tonight, now in this race, Gary will be out of the championship. 18 for Ivor as well. Emplava in 6th. 7th is Tibbs. But Emplava's losing ground to Tibbs. He's only a couple of points behind him. 4 by the looks of things. There's 40 in 8th. 9th is Emo Guy. 10th is A. Smith. 11th, Nausea. 12th, Leon Fernie. 13th is PM Motorsport. 14th is Fury. 15th is Smoky Devil. 16th, Monkey Boy. 17th, Argent. 18th, Bozzy. 19th, Phil. And 20th is Smithy. Obviously, Fury's got into this session. He's ended up in the Mercedes, but it'll be okay. He will be scoring points for the for the Haas team. He won't be scoring for Mercedes, so we won't have to worry about that one. Aston Martin lead the championship, 12 points ahead of Williams. Ferrari still in third. Fourth is AlphaTauri. Fourth is Alfa Romeo. Fifth is AlphaTauri, and there's only a couple of points separating them. Haas in 6th. 7th is Alpine. And 8th is Mercedes. 13 more points, and Mercedes will be out of the championship. 9th and 10th are both McLaren and Red Bull, and they are both out of the mathematical running of winning this championship. Now, as this is Gary 131's 250th appearance here, and congratulations to Gary on that one. As we're about to get this race underway here. Guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to take this one, as somehow I'm amazed at this. I'm actually amazed. I'm probably going to curse it now. Everyone's managed to negotiate the formation lap. Not often happens here at Simplay Motorsport, but we've managed to do so. Don't worry, I've not fallen asleep. I am still awake here, guys. Don't you worry. Guess your votes in for driver race winner of the feature. 28 laps here of Circuit of the Americas. Who has gone for what? That is the question as we get them up. And as Gary's gone for the soft, Leon Fernie's gone for the soft, Hards is Big Boy Brazier, while everybody else has gone for the medium tyres. They all line themselves up to the grid. It is James on pole position again, with Big Boy Brazier starting alongside. Matt has failed to nail the start line, but either way, he will still be able to race. Let's go racing once again. Round 12 for the season, the feature race here in America, Austin, Texas. Who's going to come away with this one? Emplava out of the championship. Gary 131's 250th race. What can he do? As we are green here, and James not a brilliant start. Jamie on the hard tyres with a decent start, but he's got that slow phase. Here comes Forsey down the inside of turn 1, but Gary sends it into turn 1. Gary can't get rid of old habits, and he makes he goes around the outside of turn 1. Gary 131 absolutely sending it into turn 1, and this time he's actually managed to keep cars facing the right way. Last time he'd done that, he ended up going down the pack massively. Gary 131 now leads this race with James in second. Third is Forsey, fourth is Matt, and fifth is Big Boy Brazier. Sixth, Tibbs, not the best start for him. There's a couple of cars going the wrong way. That is Ivor. He's facing the wrong way. Who's he getting caught up with? A. Smith, I think, was another one. But Smithy as well. All these guys caught up in these incidences. Meanwhile, Big Boy Brazier and Tibbs are going at it wheel to wheel. Tibbs looking like he's got the better run on Jamie here down the back straight, and they're even right now. Smokey's got a lovely view of this. Tracy says, let's go, Tibbs. As they go towards the left-hander, Tibbs holding the inside, and he gets the job done on Big Boy Brazier. He's obviously on the hard tyre and just struggling for grip at the minute as Smokey hits the back of him, and Smokey loses the rear end as Leon Fernie, his son, now comes around the outside of him to the inside of the next point of the track, and on those softer tyres gets the advantage. Come on, James, and PN says Mummy D in the chat. Fury now up to 8th place. We got a yellow flag in the final sector. That is Ivor. He's had another moment further back as he's struggling to get himself going. Meanwhile, after a chaotic start to that race, Gary leads with James in second. Third is Matahimovic and fourth is Forsey. Tibbs now up to 5th place position. Can Tibbs get a win? We want to see this boy finally have a race win to his name. Can he do it at his home race? As he is now working his way onto the back of Forsey. Just take your time, Tibbs. There's plenty of time still to go as he goes through the Magda Beckett section. Look at the confidence in the car. On the medium tyre, so he's on a similar strategy to everybody else. The only ones that have gone different. Oh, Forsey's gone wide there. He's really messed up his line, and that is going to allow Tibbs to get the run. As he comes towards the hairpin, you can see there Tibbs with a much better run. He looks to the inside of the hairpin. He gets the job done and up into P4, but he's lost the rear. He's put a little bit too much power down, and Tibbs losing the rear. But he's just about to hang in there. Big boy Brazier on the hard tyre, looking like he's coming back. To the inside, does big boy Brazier look? No, he thinks better of it, and Tibbs will hold that line. Needs to just a little bit squirrely. That is the strategy that they've offered. Some are going for a soft, medium, hard, or they could go medium, hard to the end. They reckon the hard and the medium tyre is the tyre to be on, as big boy Brazier now looking to attack Forsey. As I've missed already, James has passed Gary 131. So already those soft tyres are not working for Gary, and he's dropping down the order. Yellow flag, sector 3. Who is that? That is Matt. What has happened to Matt? Where is he? There he is. He's in the middle of the circuit. Matahimovic contact with big boy Brazier. And he's got going once again. Matt is having a horror race too here, as James now pulling away. Big boy Brazier, meanwhile, has got DRS. Look at the guys in front. Tibbs now to the outside of Forsey. Can he get the job done into turn 1? Forsey came back in with the DRS, and Forsey's pushed him off track. Fury's up there as well, so Forsey goes wide. And here comes Fury and Leon Fernie. They're coming into the far section of Maggots and Beckett's now. So just within limits, and Forsey struggling here. Meanwhile, Tibbs is now up into P3. I'm still not sure what has happened to Matahimovic. He's dropped down the order. Fury. Oh, there goes Tibbs at Forsey. Leon Fernie and Forsey have both gone round. They're managing to get the cars everywhere. They're all scrambling to get themselves going again. And PN just not able to benefit from that one. Leon Fernie losing out, as does Forsey. At this rate, not a lot of cars are going to finish. We go back to this squabble as big boy Brazier now with the DRS just flies past Fury, who's on the Mercedes-Benz, who will be scoring points for Haas. And Ivor once again is just tripping over himself with his car at the minute. So Tibbs now looking to try and get away from this pack of cars. James and Gary both checked out 6 seconds ahead of the next car, which is Tibbs. We go back to this scrap right now. Big boy Brazier and Fury. Smoky Devil just on the back of them as well. What a great scrap these guys are producing, as Fury has got past big boy Brazier. And Fury now back in front. Jamie with the DRS in the Ferrari. He goes to the outside. Fury loses that place to big boy Brazier. Smoky Devil now breathing right behind these two, but has a bad run through the Maggots and Beckett section. Little bit cautious of these two at the minute as they go. Fury goes down the inside there, but big boy thinks better of it, knows he's there, but we're going 3 wide now. This is not going to end well, as Smoky Devil had to bail out. How they managed to get through that section without hitting one another, I do not know. A Smith now is onto the scene, where it's turned to a 3-horse race. It's now a 4-horse race. Emplava not a million miles away, but he's got his own problems. A Forsey behind him. Fury now with the DRS. And is not really gaining anything onto big boy Brazier at the minute, nor is A Smith on Smoky Devil. But more importantly, Emplava is going to lose a place to Forsey. Forsey down the inside and back up another position once again. So far, so good for James. He is out in front. He's got Gary within 1.5 seconds, but is able to control that gap. Gary's tyres are going to die much quicker on the soft tyres as Fury's down the inside. Oh, big boy Brazier. Jamie has to lose out there, but he's thinking of his hard tyres. He's wanting to go as long as he possibly can and finish well, as Jamie's actually in the pits. He's got front wing damage by the looks of things to his car. So Jamie's had a coming together possibly with Fury. He's into the pits, as is M. Brava. Has he got that slowed down? Matt with a big wiggle out of the final corner. Jamie, yes, changing the front wing. The number 7 Ferrari needing a new front wing on that car. Meanwhile, M. Brava trying something different. He's onto the hard tyre. And these guys have just stringed out a little bit. A. Smith is on the back of Smoky Devil. And right now, Smoky Devil trying to hold on to this position as he's trying to catch on to the back of Fury, not quite in the DRS zone. As Matt has now gained a place on Leon Fernie, but Leon Fernie is coming back at him here. He's got a decent straight line speed here. As I say that, Fury's facing the wrong way. So Fury, just as we come away from this young man, he just loses the back end. My teammate, please don't do that at Zolder. We do not need that. We need to repeat what happened at Monza. As he just makes a slight mistake there, and through goes A. Smith and Forzy. Matt is now on to the back of Fury. And Matt out the final corner. Fury has dropped down even further. He's had another mistake and is losing places and time to the guys around him. Into turn 1 goes Matt. Meanwhile, Smoky Devil has still got pressure from A. Smith behind him. As they head now into the final sector, middle sector, sorry, as Forzy just off the back of these guys at the minute. A. Smith will have the DRS. Smokey's gone very wide, and he's going to get better traction, but he's not had the best run out the corner, so he's not going to get overall top speed. Here comes A. Smith in the McLaren. Rear wing is open towards the left-hander. He goes. Smokey really has nowhere really to fight, but he later on the brakes and keeps the position. Well done to him. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag. That is M. Plava. And what has happened to M. Plava? No, sorry, that's the that's the middle sector. That is Gary 131. He's made a mistake, and through goes Tibbs. Tibbs now up into P2. Gary 131 made a mistake. What has happened here? Has his tyres fully gone now? He's coming into the pits. The soft tyres are probably dead. And into the pits comes Gary. Exit Tibbs now P2. What can he do about James? That is the question. Meanwhile, Smokey and A. Smith still going at it. They've got Forzy breathing down there next. Here comes Forzy to the inside of turn 1. Is he going to get the job done on A. Smith? Both with DRS open. And Forzy gets it stopped, gets it turned in, and through he goes. Meanwhile, PN. Oh! PN goes up a place as Matahimovic, I think, was having a slide. PN's up a place, Fury's up a place, and Gary comes back on track. Ivor, is he going to clear Gary? No, he doesn't. Gary comes back onto the medium tyre. Oh, Gary with a big snap out of turn 1. How does he manage to keep that facing the right way? I do not know. Meanwhile, we got this scrap between M. Plava, Big Boy Brazier, and Smithy. And Smithy's holding all these guys up. And he should do so as well, because he's in a scrap with these lot, and they've made contact. Big Boy has made contact with Smithy. Gary's in the wall as well. There's a car coming. Smithy is out of this race. So is Leon Fernie. Both cars out of this race. Safety car is deployed. Leon Ferning and Smokey and Smithy both out of this race. This is what Tibbs needed to get himself in this fight with James. James is looking to the pits. Yes, he is into the pits. He comes. Tibbs really has to pit with him at this stage. Once we get to the halfway stage of this race, ladies and gentlemen, I will then close the vote for driver race winner of this race, and Tibbs does choose to pit. All these guys, really a free pit stop at this stage, and those who are struggling with tyres should really come in. Matt will obviously have to serve his 5-second time penalty with contact with Big Boy Brazier. Where is Matt? There he is. He's hit the cone as well. So everyone into the pits. PN's into the pits. Fury will have to stat behind his teammate, Forzy. And Forzy, how quick will the Mercedes be? There we go. Tyres changed. Off he goes. Where is Fury? There he is. Easily, no problem. Double stacking. Matt, 5-second time penalty being served. Here he is. Now they'll change the tyres. Through he will go. And yes, that's ouch. That was a nasty one for sure. Ivor will get a new front wing as well. Emplava choosing to carry on. Obviously, he's just changed those hard tyres, and he's jumped a few of the guys from that. But it is now James still leading this race. Big Boy Brazier drops to the back of the pack. He's changed to another set of hards. I think he started on. As you see there, there is a Ferrari going slow. That is PN. I don't know if he's had a moment in turn one. He's on the softer tyre now. But through they go. Ivor in P12. And there we go. Everyone back in formation behind the safety car. So after all the drama, it is James leading the race with Tibbs in second. Third is Smoky Devil. Fourth is Forzy. Fifth is A. Smith. Sixth is Emplava. Seventh is Matinovic. Eighth is Gary 131. Ninth is Fury. 10th is PN. 11th is Big Boy Brazier. And in 12th place is Ivor. Gary will struggle to get to the end on the medium tyres, I reckon. But either way, Gary has performed miracles before. So what can these guys do towards the end part of this race? On lap 8, 20 laps still to go. A long way to go for the boys. Some decent points available. As I'm just trying to clear my throat. Not sure why my throat's being a git, but either way. So James leading the way. Let's go on board with this man as Austin, Texas is offering us some great racing. P1 at the minute with Tibbs in second. Tibbs really wants some good points and possibly a win. Can he beat James here at his home track? Third is Smoky Devil. Fourth is Forzy. Fifth is A. Smith. Sixth is Emplava. Matt is in seventh. Eighth is Gary 121. Ninth is Fury. 10th is PN Motorsport. 11th is Ivor, and 12th is Big Boy Brazier. Gary on his 250th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport, and he's now on the back of his teammate. Can they finish on a high tonight? As James trying to keep temperature in the hard tyres, very tricky to do. As James is looking like he's trying to back the pack up ever so slightly. As we are about to go green once again. Safety car is coming to the pits as they all will now slow down. Make sure they don't damage the front wings. James will control the pace. So James at the minute, what can he do from this position? He's got Tibbs right behind him in the American car, American circuit, and American driver here in America. Tibbs is ready and raring to go. The safety car is now into pit lane, so James can go whenever he is ready to go, and he will probably launch it out of the final corner. Have they've all put temperature into those hard tires, because they will light up very fast. And James is off. He's got to make sure he nails the final corner, but Tibbs is right there. Tibbs has hit him. Around goes James and Tibbs now. There's absolute carnage. There's chaos. All because Tibbs has hit the back. Who's come off the worst? It is Forzy. So Tibbs has caused chaos in the final corner. James drops down the order. And Matt and James now going at it. Yellow flags, a 5-second time penalty for Emprava for ignoring yellow flags. Fury is up in the 4th. Gary 131 up into 3rd place. All because Tibbs tapped the back end of James and sent him around. Tibbs, that was very, very messy restart. Ivor now up in the P7. James back down into P6. Gary 131 trying to hunt down Emplava. 3-second time penalty for Fury for track limits. Absolute chaos here, but Tibbs has now run away with it. And towards the left-hander he goes. Emplava in 2nd, 3rd. Gary 131, 4th. Fury. 5th is Matt. 6th is James, but he's under pressure from Big Boy Brazier and Ivor. Breathing down his neck. Meanwhile, Smoky Devil in 9th. A. Smith 10th. PN in 11th. And 4Z front wing damage because of the chaos of the restart. Meanwhile, Gary 131 on the attack of Emprava going into the final sector. He gets close. He's going to go around the outside of the left-hander. Is he going to get the job done? He was always going to get pushed out wide. Emprava will stay in 2nd place position. Emprava there just pushing Gary wide, so he keeps hold of the position, but Gary likes to send it up into turn 1. Into turn 1 he goes. Does he miss his brakes? No, he gets it stopped beautifully. Better traction with the medium tire, and around the outside goes Gary 131. Can he hold on to the position? Yes, he does. So great racing from those two. Emprava losing out eventually as a few guys back in the pits. A. Smith is in the pits. James is now trying to work his way back through the order. To be fair, he had a 12-second gap earlier on, and now he has to work his way through the pack again. Masimovic currently 5th. He's cleared his 5-second time penalty now, so he's on a clean slate now. And James looking to try and clear past his fellow Welshman. Can he find a way through? No DRS as of yet, but James down the back straight is in the tow of Matahimovic. He looks to the inside but thinks better of it. He's not quite close enough. Gary 131 meanwhile is in 2nd and starting to bring the gap down to Tibbs. So, Gary 131, can he do anything about Tibbs out in front, who has caused absolute drama in this restart? So, Fury now sitting in that P4. He's confusing me a little bit because obviously he's in the Mercedes-Benz. DRS is now available. Gary sets fastest lap of the race. And they're now on the hunt to try and pass Gary 131. Fury thinking about turn 1 on Emplava, but thought better of it. Now heading towards the Maggots and Beckett section. We're going left, over to the right, through the left. Emplava looking a little bit unstable. Ivor has lit up the rear and around. He's gone. Down the order, he drops. Making sure he doesn't make any contact with any of the guys behind him. He's managed not to do so, but Fury trying to stick with Emplava as best he can, but can't do so. Meanwhile, Gary 131 is within half a second of Tibbs. Tibbs homes race and Gary's 250th. 2 milestones for these two that they would desperately want to win at. Tibbs want to win at this home Grand Prix, and Gary wants to win on his 250th appearance. And down towards the left-hander they go. Gary to the inside, gets the job done. Tibbs drops down the order. Meanwhile, Fury has got Emplava due to the DRS. Matt has got James and Big Boy Brazier breathing down in air, but Big Boy on the medium tyre. He will be the quicker car for sure. Gary, meanwhile, now leads this race, but he's got a long way to go on those medium tyres. Tibbs now can go to the end on the hards. He's got a decent gap over Fury, who's also got a time penalty, and Emplava in P4. So all these guys having a great little scrap towards the end of this race. Big Boy Brazier really pushing the limits behind him. Oh no! Gary! He's dropped it! Gary 131 took the lead of the race. Hot on the power. He's gone round Matimovic down the inside of Emplava, and through up he goes. And Emplava's going to have to concede the place to here, but James is right there with him, right behind him. This is going to get juicy between these lot. Wow, this is some great scrap race. Gary 131's lit up the rear, and that whole advantage he's just had, he's just thrown away in one corner. Matt has got a penalty now for exceeding track limits. Fury's dropped down the order. He's now in this scrap. Oh my God, there's 5 cars all battling for a position. James, Matt, all come together. James comes through. Big Boy Brazier on the medium tyre. Boys, this is getting sloppy now. Really sloppy racing. James gets DRS. Matt is the only one without DRS here, and he is getting swamped by the pack. Fury in the spin as well as they all head towards the left-hander. Matt's just tried to go around the outside. That hasn't happened, and he's dropped down the order as well. Fury, he goes wide, and Emplava's down the inside of him now, and James benefits from all of that. Tibbs, meanwhile, 4.5 seconds down the road. Well, these lot are all too busy scrapping. Big Boy Brazier now in second, James third, Fury fourth. Matt has now worked his way around the outside of Emplava, back in the fifth, Emplava sixth, and Gary 131 is back in this fight. The only one you need now is Smoky Devil. I believe that's the Wolfinator in the chat, as also Matt as well. Go A Smith, go woohoo, and evening to you, buddy, as they all head up towards turn number 1. It is James leading this group. Well, actually it's Big Boy Brazier leading the group. James not meanwhile. Fury's gone wide in turn 1. Matt murks his way through, and Emplava's about to lose a place. Gary 131. What drama between these lot. This is some great racing, but also a bit over dramatic from all these guys. Tibbs, meanwhile, is losing time to Big Boy Brazier. I'm pretty sure Tibbs will be under investigation for the contact with James on the restart. As James now looking to get onto the back of Big Boy Brazier on the hard tyre. He's in the better position. PN now gets a time penalty. Gary has now worked his way onto Emplava. Emplava and Gary both DRS open. Drag race between these two. Gary backs out. Is he trying to get back into the tow? Yes, he is. And they look to the left-hander. Gary gets it stopped. Gives Emplava the racing room. And they're still going at it. Gary's tried the outside once. He's going to try it again. He's still there, and he's got the job done. He'll have the inside for the next corner. And through goes Gary 131 as Emplava lights up the rear and nearly goes around. Some great racing here from these boys. Yellow flag further back. That is Ivor, and he's not having the best night. But Tibbs now still leading the way with Big Boy Brazier flying at the minute on the medium tyre, but he's dragging James with him. 10-second time penalty for Ivor for exceeding track limits. But I think he's just had enough by the looks of things, or something's gone wrong. Another 10 seconds to Ivor. He's racking them right up. But he is not having the best night for Aussie, neither. As Tibbs now 2.7 ahead of Big Boy Brazier in second. Third is James. Fourth is Matt. And they're all slowly working their way onto the back of Tibbs. Fury, meanwhile, is just trying to survive in these group of cars. Fury just on the back of these lot, as Ivor has DNF'd from the session. He's retired the car. He is done. So now, what can these lot do? They're all fighting for the last few places. Exit Tibbs still leading this race. He's got a 2-second gap over Big Boy Brazier, but James is just sitting behind Jamie and allowing him to pull him around. Matt is just outside by a second. Gary's now got a time penalty for track limits. James, the only one with Tibbs not to get a time penalty. These ones, the only ones. And in down the back straight, there you go. Right, down towards the end of the first sector. PN is into the pits. He's changing his tyres. Obviously, he was on the softer tyre. James now a lot closer to Big Boy Brazier, but he knows he's got Matt breathing. Not, well, I say breathing. He's a second behind as they go into the hairpin. A. Smith gains a position. Forsey now just a place out of the points, but at this minute he might not get it. Big Boy Brazier, as we now head to the left-hander, he defends the inside and James goes through with the DRS. Is he going to get it done around the outside? Big Boy Brazier is going to fight this as much as he can. Pushes James as wide, but James is still there. He's down the inside of the next part of the track. Jamie side by side with James. James looks like he's got the job done, but Jamie's going to come back into the other part of the track, and James switches underneath him and gets better traction and better run, and through to second place he goes. Next man on his list is Exit Tibbs, the man who pushed him rudely out of the way at the start of the restart. What can he do now, as we will end the poll there? And majority of you reckon that Big Boy Brazier will win this one. As James is now still under pressure for Big Boy after the DRS zone. And James still massive amount of pressure from the back of the Ferrari, and the Ferrari not able to work his way past the Williams, but he will stay close enough so he can get DRS zone. And James at the minute just creeping himself back onto Tibbs. A. Smith into the pits after he's done his soft tyre stint. But here comes Big Boy Brazier. He's not had a good exit at all. He's deploying ERS. He's deploying every bit of ERS he has. DRS is open. He's trying to attack James, but James, I think he's using ERS as well, so he's going to be able just to keep hold of the position. But Jamie down the inside is going to give it a go. James is alongside him, and James now up the inside of Big Boy Brazier, and I get a special guest in the commentary box. I got Smithy joining me. Meanwhile, Big Boy Brazier down the inside. He works his way past James, and James nearly crashes into the back of the Ferrari, and James back down the inside, and he's pushing Jamie wide. These two going wheel to wheel right now, and I think Jamie will have the better positioning and will stay in second place. Smithy, you're in the chat, buddy. How's it going? Sad that obviously you're out of this race, but some exciting racing to see.
This is the place to be.
This is the place to be. We had some great racing here so far, but it's just gone a little bit sloppy towards the middle part of this race.
This is a great track. I'm not going to lie, this is a lovely track, and there is some hard racing up there with the boys at the front.
Yeah, sadly, obviously, Tibbs earlier on just gave James a little bit of a tap on the rear, and James in the pack now having to fight back. But on those hard tyres, he's looking very, very fast, as Dad says in the chat. But your brother's doing all right as well. He's currently in 10th place position. He's scoring a point at the minute. So
yeah, something happened with him at the restart from the safety car as well. A couple of spins.
Yeah, definitely. So Matt also currently just behind this scrap. He didn't have the he got caught up in a lot of incidences as well, so he's obviously on a recovery drive right now. Though James is back on the back of Big Boy Brazier. DRS is now open. Jamie has got his ERS deployed. James deciding not to deploy his. He's got the DRS open himself, so he's just staying within reach of Jamie, but he's going to be later on the brakes around the outside. Big Boy Brazier squeezing him right to the end of the track, and Matt having to react there. And Matt going to the outside of James, but can't see the way through as M. Plava's dropped the rear, and around he goes. Fury is now up in the 6th place. Gary 131. Smithy, I don't know if you're in the same party as Gary earlier on. You was. He had a really a ballsy moment going into turn 1 on lap 1. He just sent it into the first corner, and he was in the lead of the race. He reminded me of an old league that he was racing out, where he nearly he took nearly half the pack out, and Matt came through.
The race, he's the best at taking corner 1.
He is indeed. Somehow he actually manages to keep it on track that time. Meanwhile, James has brought that gap down to Big Boy Brazier again. Matt is just creeping in there, and Gary's on the medium tyre. We're coming to the end of this race. Fury's got himself another time penalty. How bad are the time penalties around here, by the way? Is it really easy to get a track limit warning around here?
It is, actually. Everyone was saying how easy it is. I think Matt picked up a 3 second for overtaking Fury at some point.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and there's only 2 people on track which actually haven't got a time penalty.
And that is Tibbs, who's leading this race, and James in 3rd. The two that very rarely seem to get the penalties, but those are limits. It's the same for everybody else, as Gary now right behind his teammate. And DRS is open now. Guys, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. James is attacking Jamie. Around the outside he goes. And through the final corner he goes. And he gets the job done. Is Jamie going to look back? He's going to go around the outside, but he's not going to get the job done. More importantly, he's got 2 Aston Martins breathing down his neck behind him. And Jamie hits the back of James there. And Jamie losing out as Matahimovic now up into 3rd place. Jamie trying to overtake as Ivor says in the chat, the throttle pedal can't, the throttle broke and can't do anything about it this season. And possibly, says Ivor. That's such a shame for him. As meanwhile, Big Boy Brazier right on the back of Matimovic. This whole train is on the back of James, and they're not catching Tibbs. Tibbs all on his own at the minute. Gary to the outside. Matt's going to send it into turn 1. He just about gets it stopped, and James stays strong, and he's going to hold on to the inside for Magnus Beckett. This could end up in tears, and Matt staying there as they make contact. The 2 Welshmen come together. And round they go. Matt losing out there. And Gary 131 and Big Boy Brazier now are behind James. And Matt drops down the order. He will not be too pleased about that. Fury goes around the outside of him. Emplav is now a million miles away from him. Oh, what drama.
I'm glad I'm not in that party chat at the moment.
I mean, if you want to see how Matt's reaction is right now, then head over to Twitch, the Gaming Welshman 5. He's probably streaming right now, and you'll get his immediate reaction to that one. Gary 131 now is onto the back of Big Boy Brazier. Matt's already passed Fury, and into the left-hander they go. Jamie giving Gary the space, but Jamie holding it strong on the outside. I say that, Jamie looks like he went off track. I think he just kept it on. Gary loves the outside of this stadium section here. That's another car he's gone around the outside and has the inside for the next corner. Gary loving that driving there in this 250th race. He's doing a fantastic job as Jamie's now car is harvesting. Can James now catch Tibbs? And Tibbs has got quite a comfortable gap at the minute, but there is that penalty that could be lingering over his head. Meanwhile, I think Forsey has crashed out. Yes, that's a full-blown safety car just as Jamie pits. Interesting timing there. Jamie into the pits. Matt coming into the final corner. He's going to pit. He's going to put some tyres on. Fury is. Emperor is. What is Smoky Devil going to do? But that is Forsey out of this race. Where is the car? These guys are just going to have to go. The safety car has told them to go. They're going to have to keep moving on. They can't stop. There is a lot of beeps, says Mummy D, so obviously she's had a quick look. But yeah, I don't know why these guys were trying to wait for the safety car. They've been cleared to go. Tibbs obviously passed it. Wow. What dramatic racing, Smithy. Absolutely brilliant to see.
It is a good race. Half a
but-
grid as well.
Yeah, not everybody managing to turn up today. Obviously, Easter weekend for most of these guys. Enjoying stuffing our face with Easter eggs and chocolate.
So is the safety car out, is it, or not?
It is out.
We just got to
And
catch it.
yeah, so it came out just as Tibbs was going up towards turn 1. And they all thought they had to stay behind the safety car, but sadly, they had to go around and do another lap. So this still might benefit these guys as they'll come in and get some fresh tyres if they want to. But obviously, that is a no-brainer. They're going to have to put some new tyres on. As I will get the
Softs, would you
driver.
put softs on?
Yeah, it would be soft to the end. 8-lap race, possibly 8-lap sprint to the end. It's definitely a soft tyre end to this one as they come into the pits. Tibbs is in the pits, so is James, so is Gary. All these guys having to really go for that. But the man who's going to benefit possibly out of all this might be Big Boy Brazier. He came into the pit straight away. We will see. He has to stick to a delta mine. And into the final corner he goes. Who has gone? Tibbs is gone. James has gone. Gary's on his move, and he's actually cleared James. So Tibbs is going to lead this race. But he's got Big Boy Brazier right behind him. So Jamie's jumped Gary and James because of the safety car. Meanwhile, Matt is struggling to get himself onto the back of the pack. So this could be an interesting end to this race. Fury's back into the pits. And PN is on the hard tyre. So he'll probably want to come in for some softs unless he's used them all up. As Forzy in the chat, he's not too happy. That safety car restart was terrible. Possibly due to the contact between Tibbs and James. And Tibbs getting a little bit eager on the restart.
Bet you wish you were out there, don't you?
No. I'm just looking forward to possibly maybe F2 coming to the calendar. I might do a bit of F2. Who knows?
Is that on the same game, is it?
Yeah, on the same game, but obviously I don't know if you race the F2 cars. They're a little bit more trickier than these ones, in my opinion.
Oh, really? I'll at least stay well clear of them, mate.
They're slower, but they just haven't got a lot of downforce and a lot of grip. So that's the only difference between the F1 cars and the F2s. They're all exactly the same cars as well. There's no, obviously in the real world for Formula 1, the teams can spend as much money, obviously within a certain price cap. They're only not allowed to spend so much, something like 145 million or something like that, which is still a ridiculous amount of money. But in F2, every team has the same chassis. They're not allowed to develop any aero. They're not allowed to have anything extra to their cars. They're literally given the same thing. It's all just purely down to setup and how good the drivers are. So the F2 cars they're great to watch, and they are the only ones that really do the sprint and feature race at every event they do. It's not like in F1 where it's just one long Grand Prix and a couple of sprints and features. In F2, it's the whole season is sprint and feature races, just as we're doing here. Quick word, actually, Smithy, on this week coming up. Obviously, we're heading to Belgium after tonight. We're heading to Zolder for the next round of the season.
Don't tell everyone.
Obviously,
That made me look bad.
you know what I'm going to say, aren't you? You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, my only race win ever.
Your only race win there in the wet. Sadly, obviously, due to a lot of people learning this game, learning ACC, we're not going to be racing in the wet at Zolder. But any thoughts on Zolder? Are you looking forward to it? Obviously, you're in the... I can't remember what car you're in. McLaren, that's the one. That's the one. How could I forget? You're partnered with my dad. I knew you would have preferred to be in a Lexus, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did like the Lexus. I always look forward to a Wednesday night. To be fair, a lot of boys have come into Pro-Am and they are quick. There is a
Yeah,
group
they
of,
are.
there is a group of lads in the pro-am. That's six or seven of them that are pretty quick. Which,
Been in-
at the end of the day, is what it is. You turn up to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. As Tracy in the chat says, come on, Tibbs, keep it up. Possibly having a penalty hanging over his head due to the fact that the contact with James on the restart, but we shall see later on. But yeah, are you enjoying racing on ACC? Is it something that you've enjoyed doing? Obviously, like I said, going in a McLaren, not the car you probably would have wanted, but either way, has it been more enjoyable than you thought?
It is, yeah. The same as Project. When I first started Project, I thought, nah, this racing malarkey is not for me. But you give it a couple of seasons and that, and you get used to it. The same Project, I thought I was getting better at that, and then we obviously turned over to ACC. Started ACC, found it more difficult than Project, but it's now come together. So, yeah, like I say, I'm happy to be where I am in ACC. I always look to finish like in the top 10 at the end of the season. But there's a lot of quick boys in there, but not as quick as the pro boys. But you've got to have different style races and different paces, I suppose, to make it more interesting.
Definitely so, and obviously different equipments as well. A lot of people on wheel, a lot of people on pad as well, as we are about to get back under racing here. Safety car back into the pits. How is Tibbs going to handle the restart as they now come into the final corner here? And he's already bolted. He's already gone as he goes into the final corner. Jamie doesn't hear the rear of him as we go green here, and Tibbs straight to the inside, so he does not give the toe to Big Boy Brazier. It will take 2 laps until they have the DRS open, and Tibbs now up into turn 1 as we go racing here. Has everyone else managed to negotiate turn 1 relatively well, as all these guys now, no matter where they finish now, they will all score points. And right now, Aston Martin looking the best. It's Matimovic, a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
He must be on nearly 10 seconds now, I reckon.
Oh, I will tell you now, as tyre won't matter now. He is on 9 seconds worth of penalties. Fury's on 9 as well. So Matt at the minute, and I have a feeling he's going to try and question every single one of them. But right now, Big Boy Brazier is on 6. Big Boy Brazier is on 6. Meanwhile, A. Smith is up a place. He's got past PN Motorsport. But right now, Gary131 is on the attack of Big Boy Brazier. Meanwhile, Tibbs is trying to extend that gap. James isn't a million miles away either. A. Smith has lost the position back to PN. PN's back into that position again. Yellow flag further back. That is Matimovic. He's gone round. His race has gone from bad to worse. He's dropped down the order. He is in 10th place position, and like I said, no matter what happens, he will score points no matter where he finishes. Meanwhile, Tibbs is extending the gap to Big Boy Brazier, but Gary's right on the back of Jamie. Oh, nearly hits the back of Jamie there. Runs wide and manages to get back on track. Jamie catching onto the back of Tibbs there. Tibbs not the best final sector there. Tibbs fastest lap of the race. Matt is not. It's just gone from bad to worse here, Smithy, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's not having the best of nights. He got a good start, to be fair.
Yeah, he did have a very good start, but this one's just unfolded from here, really, hasn't it?
Cheering on my teammate for just getting us some points this year. I thought tonight I was going to get a point. I like this track because, like I said, the Matic's been on Project. It's probably one of the most popular tracks on Project. It's been up in the seasons.
Yeah, well,
I race this track a lot.
If one of these cars had crashed out now, you would have scored at least a point. And at the minute, all these guys will score a point. So this is the night to keep it facing the right way. But sadly, Smithy, it's not ended the way you wanted to. Leon Fernie come flying into you as he comes through the middle sector. Oh, Gary! Whoa! He's just had a big wiggle there. A very big snap. And here comes James. He is right behind him, but he's just not got the straight line speed. And Gary is going to stay in front of him there. And Fury's not a million miles away in the Mercedes-Benz, but obviously due to the fact that he has got a 9-second penalty, he will lose out. Emplava now passing your brother as they go into the left-hander, and through he goes. No penalties to his name, so Emplava passes that cleanly there. Oh, Gary and James are going at it. Gary hanging it on the outside. James going to go right round the outside of the right-hander of the Istanbul corner, and he gets the job done. Smoky Devil time penalty. Big Boy Brazier now right onto the back of Tibbs, but Tibbs knows that Jamie has a 6-second time penalty to his name. DRS is now available. Can Jamie get in front of Tibbs and make that 6 seconds? That is the question.
Jamie's quick round here on that pad.
He is a very quick boy either way, no matter what he's running in. And if it's F1 or ACC, we will now put a vote out for your driver of the day.
James has got past Gary. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he went around the outside of a right-hander in the final sector, but it's all about Big Boy Brazier. Can he find a way through on Tibbs as they go into the hairpin? And there is Jamie just in the background. He will have DRS. There it is, but he's just not making the time on Tibbs at the minute. And Tibbs will hang on to that P1.
Oh, Gary. Oh,
Gary nearly hit in the back of James there. And James obviously losing out at the minute to Tibbs. But Gary 131 is trying his absolute best to find his way through past the championship leader. Because right now on his 250th race, he might be losing out in this championship. He might be going out of the championship. And he needs to get ahead of James to make sure he can stay in this. But at the minute, it's not looking like that way. Meanwhile, Big Boy Brazier within half a second of Tibbs with the DRS. And he's just not close enough. Tibbs has managed to keep him at bay. Out of turn one, there you go. Penultimate lap, here we go. Only a couple of laps left of this race. And Plava now has got Matahimovic breathing down his neck. But again, Matt's carrying those 9 seconds. Fury's added another one to him. He's got 12. So all the guys behind him will all move up one, including Smoky Devil. Smoky Devil's controlled it a little bit more tonight. He's usually the man with a lot of penalties to his name, and he's managed to keep it going the right way. Meanwhile, Gary within DRS range of James, as is Jamie to Tibbs. Tibbs, not the best exit out the hairpin there, but still enough to keep Jamie away. Jamie with the DRS open, he's just not close enough. He's not making enough time on the straights. Tibbs is doing everything right just to hang on to this win, but it could possibly be taken away to a penalty, but we do not know just yet. Meanwhile, Smoky Devil losing a place to Prava. Matt is right there as well, looking to try and make a move on the back of the Alpine driver. As they come into the final sector now, Matt down the inside of Smoky Devil, pushes him wide. Smoky Devil hanging it on the outside though, and Matt goes right round the outside of him and gains that position. Back to the front, Gary's lost time to James. James is actually in the DRS zone of Big Boy Brazier and Tibbs now. Last lap here, Smithy. Who's going to come out on top of this one?
I reckon Big Boy's going to win this.
He's got to try and pass Tibbs and get 6 seconds ahead. That's a lot of asking to do in one lap.
Sorry, yeah, he's got a timeout. I reckon he'll get past Tibbs, but yeah, he won't win it because of his time penalty.
Yeah, possibly so.
He'll risk it. I think he'll risk it.
Well, he's got to try something. Fury on his own at the minute. He's kind of in no man's land. No one's near him. As A. Smith has got PN Motorsport breathing down his neck for the last few places. A. Smith, as I say that, gets himself a time penalty. As Jamie now.
They are harsh on this track, brother.
James now with ERS deployment. He's right on the back of Big Boy Brazier and Tibbs. He basically gets a double DRS, a double helping. As down the inside of Big Boy Brazier, that says James Ash win due to penalties. Big Boy gets in front, but Tibbs is going to hang it in there. James thinks better of it. And Big Boy Brazier just trying to hang in there, try and find a way past Tibbs, but Tibbs is holding strong. Gary's back involved as well. They're all going at it. Gary, if he just stays within reach, will get ahead of Big Boy Brazier. They're coming into the final sector now. It is Haas, Ferrari, Williams and Aston all towards right, and there goes Big Boy Brazier down the inside of Tibbs. He's going to come across the line once again in front, but it's going to be Tibbs with the win. James in second, Gary in third. That's your podium. Big Boy Brazier crosses the line in first. He'll be fourth. Fury in fifth. Sixth. Fifth will be Matt. And Plava, sorry, will be Matt. Matt will be in sixth. Sorry, Emplar will be 5th, Matt in 6th, Smoky Devil in 7th, Fury in 8th. Oh, and then PN and A Smith bringing up the rear. What a drive, guys. Get your votes in for driver of the day. Smithy, what a dramatic end to that one. But it was Tibbs at the end of it. The game gives Emplava driver of the day. But wow, what a dramatic end. So far the votes are going the way of James for driver of the day. Guys, come on, get your votes in for driver of the day. Obviously, Smithy, you were racing, but in your opinion, who do you think was driver of the day?
I thought Big Boy Brazier done well both races.
Yeah, decent points from Jamie.
Yeah.
Sadly, obviously, due to penalties, caught him out.
Well, he's got to give it to James, isn't it, for clean racing, no time penalties.
Yep, keeping his nose clean, as did Tibbs, but obviously he has got a penalty hanging over his head due to the contact of the restart. So we will see how that goes. But it is the US driver at the minute winning at home in the United States of America, here in Austin, Texas, the circuit of the Americas. What a race that was. Tibbs is your race winner for the meantime. Meanwhile, the positioning looks like this. Tibbs was 1st with James in 2nd, 3rd was Gary, 4th was Big Boy Brazier, 5th was Emplava, 6th was Matahimovic, 7th was Smoky Devil, 8th was PN Motorsport, 9th was Fury, 10th was A Smith. And outside the points, did not finish the race, was Forzy, Ivor, Leon Fernie, and my good friend Smithy, who's in the chat with me. What an exciting night's worth of racing. And we will look quickly at the championship standings. It is now only down to 3 drivers, but mathematically Matt is probably going to be out of it at the next round. James leads the way 75 points ahead of Big Boy Brazier. Matt is 111 points behind, 0 to his name on the points from the title, and unless James doesn't turn up to any of the races and Matt wins every single race, Matt cannot win the title. Gary has been knocked out in his 250th, but he does get a podium here tonight. Ivor is in 5th place. 6th now is Tibbs, and catching onto the back of Ivor slowly. Emplava in 7th. 8th is Forzy. 9th is Emo Guy. 10th is A Smith. 11th is Nausea. 12th is Leon Fernie. 13th is PN Fury. Is 14th. 15th is Smoky Devil. 16th is Monkey Boy. 17th Argent. 18th is Bozzy Boy. 19th is DJ Phil. And bringing up the rear is Smithy. Regarding the team's championships, it's Aston Martin leading away 18 points ahead of Williams and Ferrari in 3rd. Alfa Romeo still in that 4th place position with AlphaTauri in 5th, Haas in 6th. Alpine is now out of the Constructors' Championship, as is Mercedes. McLaren in 9th, and 10th is Red Bull, as Max Mulder in the chat says, let's go Tibbs. Obviously, he's happy with that one. Awesome jobs, Tibbs, says Tracy as well. That has been that. Round 12 is done and dusted. We've only got a couple of rounds left. We head to Mexico for the next round of the championship. Once we're done Mexico, it'll be the Brazilian Grand Prix, and then finishing things off at Abu Dhabi for the final race of the season. Can James hang on to his championship for this long? Beasting Gaming was the race engineer of Tibbs. Tibbs team win, says there. But I've been Dan Davis. Let's now finish the poll, as the poll comes to an end. 9 votes going the way of Tibbs for driver of the day, with James just behind him. Big Boy Brazier, and Gary didn't get any votes as well. But what a night's worth of racing. Smithy, obviously we're going to Mexico next. I don't know if you've driven that track yet, but the track that's definitely up there with one of the favourites from some of the drivers. The high altitude track, definitely going to be lost for breath once we're up there, but it's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing next week for sure, isn't it?
Yes, it will. That'll be nice to finish a track. I haven't finished for the last 2 races.
But more importantly, guys, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any of the action here at Simplay Motorsport. Tuning this week as Wednesday night, I will be back in the commentary box once again with my good friend Matt Matthew Duffin, as we will bring you the action from Belgium in Zolder, as we will be heading to the next round of the ACC Pro-Am Championship, where Smithy, with his only one win, is he going to go back to Zolder and relive some great memories there? That is the question. Also, what can the rest of the guys do in Pro, as they'll be racing on Thursday night as well? What can they do there? Is Overtaker going to struggle once again, or is he going to come bouncing back and try and hold on to his title? But with De Silva taking the championship lead, it is all still to play for. Like I said, hit that like button, have a look at our Discord, have a look at our Facebook page, do all those wonderful things. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I've been Dan Davis, this has been F1 2022, and we'll see you in a week's time in Mexico. Good night.